The time machine worked, and we are in 2008.
If I had a piano, I'd start.
Wait, hold on. Wait, I got you.
Cody.
All right, let's go.
All right, we have the plan. Here's the plan. Here's the plan.
All right.
We're gonna break in. It's called Operation IMAX. Step one, we're going to go to whatever California city IMAX headquarters is located in. Step two, we're going to start telling people we're Jonathan Nolan, because nobody knows what Jonathan Nolan looks like. Step three, they'll let us into IMAX headquarters, and after that we can play a show at the Rivoli. Hi.
All right.
Did you guys hear that?
Hi, I'm Tanner Richard Kraft. Welcome to
Bomb Squad Matinee, the movie night.
The matinee. The productions.
Bomb Squad, the podcast, the video, the movie, the show, the matinee.
The movie.
Featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series. I'm Tanner Richard Kraft, and with me I have...
Cream Corn, you son of a bitch! Hi, I'm Austin Sweebelman.
Hey, well, hold on. Someone's using our channel name. There's already a channel named Productions. Hi, I'm Cody Sweezo.
I dare.
There's like 30 different Bomb Squad productions out there. I found one today on Facebook that was like a dance team that was using the name Bomb Squad Productions, which is such a weird name for a dance squad, if you ask me.
No, that's awesome.
And if you couldn't tell by all of the silly things we've been saying, today we are talking about Nirvana, the band, the show.
Oh, I like that show.
The movie.
What the fuck?
And this is, in my hand, I'm holding Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, the score on vinyl.
Holy shit, the vinyl?
I got the vinyl. It's just a Back to the Future soundtrack. It's really weird.
Jay is a fucking god.
He does amazing work in this movie. We're going to get into it. As of late, I didn't prepare a warm-up question. How do you do a warm-up question for Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie? Actually, I have a quick question that, Austin, don't worry, it's not going to require any research. It's going to be a yes or no question, basically. Have either of you watched Nirvana, the band, the show, either the web series or the Viceland TV show? Is it Viceland? I think it was Viceland. TV show before you saw this movie. Austin, did you?
Don't fuck with me like this. Yeah, I did. I watched the Vice show, but I didn't watch the web series. And after watching the show, I really wish I'd watched the web series because episode 10 is gonna fuck you up. But yeah, I watched both seasons and was really thrilled. So I had some background before I saw the movie.
And Cody, have you?
I have never seen the show before. I've always heard of the name. I was very confused what it was until I heard about the concept. So I went into this relatively blind.
Until this movie started coming out, I thought Nirvana, the band, was a band.
Right.
I thought I was confused as like Kurt that's taken, you know. I still haven't seen the show at all, but a lot of...
What is he doing?
There's fucking flies in the basement, and they're pissing me off.
Huh. You could do something about that.
I'm trying.
Orbit on them.
I haven't seen the show. But everyone I know was praising the hell out of this movie when it premiered at, I want to say, Toronto last year. Toronto International Film Festival. It played here at the St. Louis International Film Festival. Played at SLIF last November. I didn't go to that screening. Sydney Russell, member of the squad, did go to that screening. Some other people might have. I'm told it was a very weird screening. She's told me the story and I can't remember it very well. But my real introduction to Nirvana, the band, the show.
Let me play that samurai music. got too much, so freeze your hand.
Please, Tim, please keep that in. Please keep that in. Holy shit.
Still fucking alive. God damn it. It's pissing me off.
He's turning. This is the moment that Walter White became Heisenberg.
Austin, you're right, this is going to be the longest episode, but not for the reason you think.
It's because the entirety of the Fly episode of Breaking Bad's going to happen during this recording.
And I can't wait.
We're talking about Nirvana, the
That's
band, the show, the movie. Everyone spoke highly of it. I heard it was really funny. It has amazing reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. It is the, let me check, 205th highest rated movie on Letterboxd out of all the movies on the platform.
Sounds fair. That's reasonable.
96 on Rotten Tomatoes. It has a 79 on Metacritic.
It's like
basically really impressive.
It's like sandwiched right between like it's above City of God, like but below the Magnificent Ambersons, right?
I'm going to see exactly where it is. It is one spot ahead of A Matter of Life and Death, and one spot behind Mary and Max, the stop motion movie.
Interesting.
I'm sure neither of you know what those movies are really, because they're not. Okay, here's something relevant to you, Austin. It's 5 spots ahead of Network.
I'm gonna kill myself. I mean, this is a good movie, but Patty Chayefsky. Let's be serious here.
And two spots behind 8.5. This movie and 8.5 have virtually the same rating.
Let's swap those. I definitely put Network above 8.5. Fucking Italians. Well, thank you. That puts things in perspective. Matt Johnson somewhere had a beam of light shoot out of his chest when he heard that.
That's what the Letterboxd public think of Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. What do we think about the movie?
Ladies and gentlemen, you're probably wondering who we are. We are Nirvana, the band. And tonight, we are playing, for one night only, an exclusive engagement at the Rivoli at Queen and Spadina. We'll see you there after the game.
Well, let's get rolling with the person who watched it for the first time most recently. Cody Suiso, what are your thoughts on Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie?
Well, I gotta go first, because if Austin goes first, I'm gonna be here all night, so... yeah, I didn't know, as I said previously, I didn't know anything about the show going into it. I know my buddy Jacob watched it prior. He said he loved it, but I also didn't know a whole lot besides that. And so I had no clue what I was getting into. Turns out... I
got the fly.
Woo! The arc is complete.
What are you doing?
You can't just show.
A little bit of inside baseball, folks. This is how we make movies.
YouTube's gonna...
People listening to this on suicide watch, they have no idea what's happening.
This is the greatest episode of the show ever.
Of course.
I'm so sorry, Cody. Please continue.
Oh, we're talking about a movie. I will say, one immediate strength that I love about adaptations is that I don't care how much of a show you should watch. A movie should let you get into it without any preconceived knowledge. And this movie does that perfectly. In 5 minutes, I know both these characters very well, and I know exactly their plight, and I know that this movie's gonna be a fucking crazy time. And honestly, the first big scene is probably one of the craziest scenes I've seen this year, and that's weird to say after seeing movies like Project Hail Mary and Backrooms and other things like that. The CN Tower scene, it kind of comes off like a publicity stunt kind of thing. Very much blends in acting and realism. I couldn't. If you told me these were all just bits performed in front of real people, I'd believe you, because and I know they do that a bit in the show. If I compliment or complain about things, it's probably in the show, and I don't know, so my bad. I genuinely thought this was all a real stunt until those fuckers cut off the cord, and I was actually I was freaking out for a second. Genuinely, I was like, holy shit, what is happening? It is one of the craziest openers for a movie, and it really set the tone. This movie just throws everything at you. it's really hard to compliment like certain aspects of the movie because a lot of it is done via camcorders. But the weird aspect of that is that it creates this really unique cinematography editing like environment where, you know, the two camera people are not just like camera people, they are actual people in the movie at all times generally. They are just characters. They interact with them. You know, they're not just some omnipresent force watching these two characters, and it makes it feel so much more dynamic, even though it's generally switching between two cameras, so there's not a lot to work with, yet you get so much beautiful shot composition, so much cinematography work. It genuinely is really impressive, especially since you're doing this in a kind of semi, you know, on-the-fly realism mode. Even when you're doing stuff like going back to 2008. It's really funny that the Back to the Future footage that just shows up, just bluntly, just straight up, just Back to the Future. I thought it was just going to be a little nod. No, it's literally just kind of the central plot of the movie, down to setting them back to 2008 with the orbits. I thought that was really funny. And the recreation of 2008 looks really, really nice. I think one of my favorite things, you know, about the verse Back to the Future is when they go back to the, I think it's the 50s or 60s, I don't remember. I think it's the 50s. Back to the 50s. So having this kind of go to the same length, but going back to an era that I was actually alive for and have very preconceived memories of, that's pretty neat. I like the way they do that. And and actually, it has a relatively pretty strong narrative, even though this is kind of a stupid, goofy, we gotta go play our little show at a very specific venue. I don't know the significance of the Rivoli. I'm sure it's explained in great detail in the show, but, or no, maybe it's not, and it's just funny. I don't know. But I understand Matt and Jay are two very set characters, even though they're just playing versions of themselves. One's just kind of the ambitious dreamer who just goes at everything no matter what, and Jay who's kind of supported going along for the ride, but kind of feels like he's kind of just, boy, he's just kind of being strung along for the ride, and that creates, you know, the central conflict of him splitting off and then ending up being more successful because of time shenanigans that I'm not going to explain, which is very interesting. Like, it's a weird thing to say that Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, is probably one of the better time travel plots in a movie. Granted, it is harping off of another movie, but, you know, it's still really effective. It also proved my weird point from the movie night we did, where I said if you cut down Back to the Future a little bit, you'd still tell the plot and it'd still be perfect. This movie's a lot shorter than Back to the Future, and it tells the plot pretty fine. I know that's a bit nuanced, I just wanted to bring that up. I will say, though, by the time we get to the third act, and it's still kind of following the Back to the Future homage, I think it gets a little bit tired up, a little played out by that point, especially with the, you know, literally kind of doing the scene where they have to have the cord connect to the little booth. It has its own unique spin, but it is a little bit derivative, and I think sometimes the editing's a little bit strange. Not really strange, but just more weird. This is a movie, but it's following the show to a T, and I'm sure a lot of the editing in the show, in the movie is one-to-one with the show, but I also don't think it translates very well. Specifically this flashback thing where they like flashback to a footage in gray and it's like slightly slowed down. I think that's very annoying. I do not need I think the scenes already play out well enough to where you don't need those flashbacks. It just kind of feels like a waste of time. If it's in the show, cool, whatever. But I just found it annoying. But overall, I think this is a really well-executed movie, and I believe that this is a great encapsulation of what it feels like to strive for a dream, no matter how ridiculous it may seem. Back to you, Tanner.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Austin, what do you think of Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, the game, and Knuckles?
Oh, if only.
I was listening to interviews of Matt Johnson, the man who completely ruined everybody's night when the 2024 Canadian Screen Awards happened, and also the director of this piece of shit. And he rattled off this quote from famous magician Raymond Teller, which kind of fucked me up, because I had no idea that Teller could talk, or that his first name was Raymond. It's from a profile that Teller did for Esquire back in 2012, where he was discussing this famous trick he does called shadows, where he trims up the shadow of a rose, like 2 feet behind this real rose in a vase. But the actual flower starts falling apart as he's pretending to cut up parts of the shadow. And the quote goes, "Sometimes magic is just someone spending more time on something than anybody else might reasonably expect." After making Telefilm Canada look like big dick players with his fucking awards magnet Blackberry, his last feature, and netting his lifelong best friend Jay McCarroll an award for Best Original Score, Matt fucking Johnson is back to do what he's been doing since he made The Dirties back in 2013, giving us a crazy movie that blurs the line between fiction and documentary and some kind of funky historical record. Except now, he's revisiting the project that started it all, in the most literal sense. Breaking out authentic, previously unseen footage of Matt and Jay from 2009 and sacrificing the souls of several compositors to make the only acceptable Back to the Future remake. Robert Zemeckis, he did a lot of cool shit to make time travel happen in those 3 movies, but the one trick he didn't think of is hanging on to 16-year-old mini DV tapes. Can't do that with an optical printer, can you, Robert? Also, shout out to Chris Perez of Donaldson, Califf, and Perez for overseeing the fair use copyright stuff on this thing. You are the legal equivalent of a genie. And when I Googled your net worth, I did it out of respect. As somebody who dabbled in VFX for a long time, this movie does a really great job of making you, like, pull out your hair and scream, "How the fuck did they do this?" And admittedly, a great deal of that comes from the fact that they shoot this in a way that subconsciously sets you up to interpret what you're seeing as a shittily made documentary. But what if I told you, this movie's VFX supervisor worked on The Boys, X-Men Days of Future Past, and Alita Battle Angel. That's right. Tristan Zarafa was the VFX soup on this, bringing the full weight of the Pixmondo team. And for people who don't know, that's the VFX company that does the dragons in the Game of Thrones franchise. Frankly, yeah, Matt Johnson's entire post-production team is stacked. He's got Kurt Loeb, Robert Upchurch, Michael Tanton, Janae Vandeveer. This may look like fucking Tiger King or whatever, but they're doing 3D skyline replacements with Gaussian splats, full digi-doubles, cloth sims, gigantic screen replacements. And I seriously do not know how Kurt and Robert did the motion tracking on some of these shots. The scene where Matt and Jay jump off the CN Tower is such an obscene flex. Cody, I'm glad you brought this up. So they couldn't get the custom skywalk jumpsuits off the premises. So somebody from the VFX team went in there and did a full 3D scan of Matt and Jay over a couple hours while they stalled in the changing room. The fucking dome that's closing on the Rogers Center, that's completely CG. That shit was open in the plate shot. Some poor bastard had to find a way to key or roto every single square of the galvanized steel grate in the GoPro footage that they're walking on. They did mocap for the digi-doubles. That's why it looks so good. With the one where he pushes him off the tower, there's a shot somewhere of Matt yeeting Jay into a really big pit of styrofoam that I want to see. And, to suck off production a little bit, because they deserve equivalent hype for this, they got that, you know that close-up of the CN Tower, the shot of Matt and Jay where they're skydiving and the sound keeps cutting out? They got that shot because somebody was getting married, and they booked that expensive-ass hotel right next to the CN Tower for their honeymoon, and production seized the opportunity to go into their hotel and get the wide-angle plate shot. And that's like just the big showpiece at the beginning. This movie is riddled with so much clever filmmaking. These like stitched together shots are all over the place, body doubles, archival footage of famous Jay comped in. Fun fact, the actual celebrity in the footage with Ellen DeGeneres and Jay was Puff Daddy himself. Diddy, the penis diddler. That's right. It's also hilarious seeing a future where Jay has a colossal fucking Gangnam Style one-hit wonder career based off of him and his sister's real-life 2014 single Never Come Down. That's a hilarious way to reclaim the song after it spent the last 10 years being known to Americans as the song that Donald Trump danced to in a very famous meme. This is actually one of those movies I could talk about for a very long time, and I'm holding everybody hostage here, and I should stop shouting because I popped a blood vessel in my eye. As a big fan of the show, though, Matt Johnson's features, deceptive filmmaking, this is an all-timer. Mind you, this is not Boogie Nights or Children of Men. I did not levitate out of my chair at any point during the movie, but it made me laugh like crazy and experience astonishment. And it gets better on repeat viewings, which is very rare. So this is like a 9.5 out of 10 for me. Big ups. Back to you, Tanner.
Great stuff, great stuff, great stuff. Yeah, I fucking love this movie, and I would say that this movie does make me levitate out of my chair and shit. Mostly because it is probably... It's funny, I was telling people last year that The Naked Gun was like the funniest movie of the 2020s. I think this movie might be funnier. I don't know. It's close between these two. Between those two for sure. Sorry, the condensation is crazy right now. But I levitated for a couple of reasons. One, during the opening sequence, but during a lot of the movie, I kept asking myself, how the hell did they do this? How the hell did they do this? And the answer is that first off, they filmed this over the course of beyond just the footage they shot in 2009 that this movie uses. They filmed this over the course of multiple years. And it seems like they just kept filming stuff until they found a plot. They basically knew... I haven't seen a lot of the BTS stuff, but from what I understand, I think they settled on the time travel thing relatively quickly, but there were a couple of like attempts that didn't work out. From what I understand, one of the first ones they tried was like a road trip movie, which didn't work, and then either this was part of the road trip movie or this was a different concept, but they were trying to parody The Talented Mr. Ripley.
They love that movie.
I don't know if that was part of the road trip version of this movie or not. And then eventually they settled on the time travel thing because they realized they had footage from 2009 they still had. Which is cool. But then there's like stuff like, so the footage outside the mansion with all those legitimate cop cars and a news reporter being like, oh, there was a shooting here. You watch this and you think, how the fuck did they do that? That's Drake's mansion. Like the rapper Drake. That's his mansion. And a couple years ago during the Kendrick Drake beef, there was a shooting near his mansion, and actual news reporters went to the mansion and they were talking about it outside, and Johnson went, we have to film this. So they ran. If you watch the news report from that day, you can see Matt and his cam op in the background directing. I'm going to send this just for your guys' sake real quick. This isn't going to make... Oh, actually, Austin, you might not want to look at this because you're recording video.
I'll look at it.
I'll do it on my phone.
I'll look at it twice as much for you, Austin.
But there's that. That's from the actual newscast from that story.
That's...
you can just...
Wow.
Clear as day, Matt's in the background. Jay was actually running around there. I can only imagine... I don't know how they got the footage inside the mansion, like the mansion grounds. That's the only thing I haven't been able to quite crack yet. Because at first I thought, oh, they're not going to actually film inside the mansion grounds. They're just going to have Jay awkwardly walk up and go, I think I live here. And then they put that JM on the gate in post. But it looked like there was a couple shots on the grounds. So I don't know about that. Austin, do you know?
That's the mansion from the pilot of Schitt's Creek. They have a family friend who scored them the mansion and the RV. That's a $2 million RV that Jay executes somebody in. And you're correct. They put the initials on in post on the gate.
So that's not Drake's mansion? I thought it was Drake's mansion.
There's a famous Jay's mansion is different than Drake's mansion. To memory, when the shooting happens, They mostly just got footage of Jay. They had to do this like 15 times. The camera pans over to him from the news conference, and it's just him running away. And apparently, because they had to do it 15 times, the cops just kept looking at the production crew, and were like, "Do we need to do something about this?" But Jay was in a nice suit, so they didn't end up bothering the crew.
They were like, "Oh well, that's a well-kept man. Clearly he's supposed to be here."
Sure, must be elsewhere.
there's just a lot of like, how the fuck did they make this? And it's really fun looking up afterwards. Oh, that's how the fuck they made that. The CN Tower sequence still blows my mind. Especially because here's the thing. This is the wonders of making a movie where it's actors interacting with real people. Because some of the two funniest bits of the CN Tower sequence are not because of things Matt and Jay did. The first funny thing is when they're at the fucking hardware store and that employee goes, you know, I'm a libertarian, just offers that up out of nowhere. So funny. And then the second funny thing is when they catch him with the pliers and they just go, oh, okay.
They let him through with the pliers, and they don't notice the parachutes on their back.
Yeah, that's so another thing. They're clearly, look at the back of their jackets, dude. There's clearly something crazy going on there. Or they both have weird tumors. Like, come on. It's so fun. All the humor that comes from just interacting with real people. Like, Matt improvises with one of the actor, the lady from France, and he's like, hey, can you hold my walkie-talkie? And he goes, this is funny to you? My whole life is riding on this.
How'd they do the raccoon? There's a point where he's running away when he realizes he's in a timeline where Jay is famous, and there's just a raccoon that he runs into on the streets. Sorry,
it's so good.
People.
It's so good. Just how often they're able to get just genuine comedy gold from real people. And the reason they did that is because they would film those sequences like 20 times at 20 different times, making sure there was different people around, and then they would pick the funniest result. It's cumbersome filmmaking, but it's effective. And I call it cumbersome. This is only, what, a $2 million movie? Mm-hmm. According to Wikipedia, that's what it's budgeted at. They do really impressive work. So it's really funny, and the filmmaking's really spectacular. But you know what really got me? I'm not ashamed to admit this. This movie made me cry both times I watched it. Both times when Matt realizes that Jay's not going back to, like, Jay only wants to go back to fix his own life, and Matt sees that, and Matt clearly knows that, oh, if I help, at least from his perspective, if I help this, Jay's just gonna try and get his own life back. And he's still willing to kill himself over it. That version of Matt's dead. Like, that's perma. Yeah. That version of Matt died there.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a Matt at the end of the movie. Like, Jay has to realize that he has to carry the guilt of knowing he killed his friend in an alternate universe. Which,
to be fair, though, it's payback. Yeah. Matt got a guy killed in this movie by playing Jay's favorite game. He conditioned Jay to be a sleeper agent.
So, I saw this in theaters. It was a pretty packed theater. And I thought that was a pretty funny sequence, how he's awkwardly trying to interact with his bandmates, because you could clearly tell that, like, his bandmates aren't used to him treating them like they're people. So they're kind of, like, bizarred out by it. And they don't really consider him friends anyway. And then he's like, oh, we're going to play. Because, and in his defense, I would also make this assumption. Who the fuck hangs up a loaded gun?
The most dubious Chekhov's gun I've ever seen.
But, like, when he fires the gun and immediately headshots someone, the reaction in that theater was people going, oh! But then also laughing. It was so, like, everyone's like, oh. Like, it was one of the best theater reactions I have ever heard in my life. But yeah, the movie, I think, is really, like, it gets emotional at the end. That part where Jay goes, I'm gonna sacrifice everything I wanted because my friend was willing to sacrifice his life for me. I find that incredibly moving.
It is powerful.
Sorry. It's really moving. That's like the final thing that made this really special. This is still my second favorite movie of the year. I have yet to put any movie above it other than Project Hail Mary. It's really funny. It's genuinely moving. Matt Johnson is a genius. I really look forward to his Anthony Bourdain movie later this year. Though, can I just say something? I don't remember what movie it was, but recently the Tony trailer played in front of a movie, and at the end of the trailer where he says, where they're like, what's your name? And he goes, Anthony Bourdain. There was someone behind me that went, who did you think it was?
He's eating a mortadella and cheese sandwich. Who did you think it was?
I guess you could just think, oh, this is an original movie about a person. I guess that's actually probably your first assumption, that this is not a biopic, but it's about a human being. That's on me for being mean then, I guess. But yeah, just a remarkable film, and I'll have so much more to say after a brief commercial break.
I don't want to. One. No.
Welcome back from that commercial break for another commercial. You see that colorful thing behind my Marty Supreme Frisbee?
What the fuck?
That Austin made me buy at gunpoint? That's a movie palette. That one's for the movie Punch Drunk Love. Basically what it does is it takes the primary color of each frame of a movie, slices it up in these little lines, puts it on a palette for your viewing pleasure. There's one for Punch Drunk Love. Tim usually has one for the movie Mandy. They have several ones on the website. They might have Nirvana the band, the show, the movie, but I kind of doubt it because it's a big deal to us losers. But that movie only made $5 million at the box office, so it's not exactly a big deal. But you can go there, add whatever movie palette you want to your cart, and if they don't have your favorite movie already, for a little extra money, you can add one to. You can have one custom made. So go ahead, add it to your cart, and while you're checking out, make sure you enter the code SQUAD15 to save 15% on your order. Thank you so much for watching, and now back to the show. Funniest moment of the movie. I want to know everyone's funniest moment of the movie. For me, the thing that made me laugh the hardest was the fourth wall break. I know what you're thinking. Oh, they look into the camera all the time. They're always breaking the fourth wall. No. There, to me, is very clearly a specific part where Matt Johnston speaks, and he's not talking as Matt Johnston, the fictionalized version of himself in Nirvana the band, the show. He is speaking as Matt Johnston, the guy making this movie. And it's when they're trying to figure out the time travel plan, and he says to the camera, if you're seeing this in theaters, it's a miracle because it's the only time it's ever going to be shown.
Yep.
He is clearly speaking as Matt Johnston, the director.
That moment hit like a truck.
It doesn't make sense for Matt Johnston, the character, to say that. It doesn't make any sense at all. That, to me, is the funniest part of the movie, is when Matt Johnston, the director, talks. It's really, really funny. That's the funniest part of the movie for me. What about you guys?
Cody?
Nah, you go first. I gotta think. It's hard.
When Matt finds out Jay was going to leave and try to be a famous solo act while they're still chilling in the 2008 apartment, and Matt's having this weird reaction where you kind of can't tell if he's going to explode, and then he just throws this fake-out punch and plays it off like they're kids on a playground, that shit had me rolling. Also, the black and white flashbacks did work for me. That's a thing from the show, so maybe I was more conditioned. Because they use, like, B-roll. Like, not only do they do the black and white flashbacks, but they also use different takes. And there's one where they're still in the 2008 apartment, and Matt's like, hey, you're gonna wake him up. You're gonna wake him up. It just starts fucking stopping on 2008 Matt, which is so different from how the scene played out. And for some reason, I adore that.
That's my favorite thing, that I'm looking forward to watching the show because the show does that too. I love doing a flashback, and the flashback's like a lie. That's just explicitly not what happened. Like when it flashes back to him, like meeting him in the VIP line, he goes, "You gained weight."
This is my friend Matt. He's a little bit fat. He's a little bit buff. We're happy to have him.
I also like how it's not filmed in slow motion. To me, it's clear that they're just talking slower.
Oh, are they? Am I just that stupid?
They're just talking slower. Does it it doesn't have like slow artifact. I think they slow the footage down maybe, but the audio, it sounds like someone trying to talk slower.
Okay. Huh, that's interesting.
Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I've been interpreting it.
I think they slow it down a tiny amount.
Though.
Yeah, your idea is funnier, but I think they slow it down a tiny amount and maybe down-pitch the voices.
It's like 90% speed, I'd say.
No, it's definitely slowed down. It sounds like real people talking slow. Maybe I'm wrong. It's way funnier that way, but it's okay. It's still funny either way. Cody, what's your funniest bit?
Honestly, there's just so many, and I also have terrible memory. I think the actual part where Matt's filming the little promo where he's like a time traveler is funny because it reminds me of when I have filmed projects in the past where I just kind of shoot the shit, don't plan anything, just have something set up and just go, roll the camera. And then just shit just doesn't go right, and which leads to the inciting incident with the orbits spilling, and it just a fire breaks. I don't know. I love it when the film really emphasizes this just ragtag, duo just trying to chase a dream, no matter how long, literal years long it takes. There's something that maybe you guys relate to this too, because we're all filmmakers here, chasing the dream. I think there's something special about watching this movie for that regard.
The lights being on is what made it look good in the first place.
I forgot that line.
Oh, when Matt wakes up in the trailer as Jay's trying to drive to the gig, and he's just slowly building, and eventually he's like, "I'm being fucked over!" Like, it was just funny to see him explode like that.
Yeah, there's that subtle snap right there. Yeah, God, there's so many good scenes.
Is this the best use of slurs in a modern movie? Like this movie's gotta be...
Oh my God!
I know. I forgot. Maybe that's actually the funniest part. It's not seeing Jared Fogle or Bill Cosby advertisements.
Which is funny.
It's not... that stuff's also funny. It's not the date on the fucking newspaper. No. It's him going around and realizing people are laughing at a character saying the F slur. First off, he's just like, huh? And then the second time, he's like, we traveled through time!
Yeah, I like how specifically, because they could have had anything emphasized to them, like an old iPhone or some shit, that this is the past, but the fact that they used the movie that says the F slur, and people are laughing at it openly, is the moment where the main character goes, oh my God, we time traveled.
It's so good.
No other movie would do that.
Well, the real funny thing about that is, one, unfortunately,
don't say it. Don't say
what's
when The
funny
Hangover
comes
came
first.
out.
The Hangover came out at the latest summer of 2009. When this movie takes place, they were probably filming it. Now, I will say that according to people that would have told me, there was a special, very, very early screening of The Hangover in Toronto, but that still would have been way later than this movie portrays it as.
You had to do it.
But they realized it'd be funnier.
Yeah, I mean, it's with time, you can, like, flex it a little bit, unless it's, like, the entire point is to be very specific. I think that's fine.
I also like when they're, before that scene where he goes, you want to watch a movie? You want to watch a movie? Matt Johnston has such fascinating delivery in that scene that I can't replicate right now. But he says it's so funny.
Best use of slurs in a modern movie by a mile. This is the Brian song of our generation. Also, there's a little bit of foreshadowing right when they get there. They just don't pick up on it. Somebody's playing the original version of Let's Get It Started by the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. That is one thing this movie and The Naked Gun has in common.
Oh my God!
That's all we need for a banger comedy. Just add the original song for the Black Eyed Peas.
So, let's talk some how the fuck did they film that. For example, the giant concert scene. I know what you're thinking. What did I'm sure you guys had the same question I did. How the fuck did they get thousands of people to attend a Jay McCarroll concert? This is how. They didn't. That concert was actually, so that was filmed during the concert for a band called Arkells. It's a Canadian band. They've won a bunch of Juno Awards. From what I understand, they are a very popular Canadian band. I don't think they've ever broken through outside of Canada. I am looking at their Wikipedia page now. They have only ever charted in Canada, but they're a very big deal up there. In part because of CanCon, Canadian media stations are obligated to play a certain percentage of Canadian-made art. So that probably helps them. But regardless, they are a big deal out there. They legitimately got a concert that got that many people to show up. So Jared Robb, the cinematographer, Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, and the web series, and one of the characters in the movie, technically, shot some of Arkell's previous music videos. So as a favor to the cinematographer, they let Jay McCarroll perform on stage for a few minutes.
You can, there's a making of
That's
on
crazy.
the Blu-ray. It's like a 30-minute making of thing. And you can actually see the footage from right before they put Jay on. Basically, I think it was like one of the people in the Arkells got up and was like, listen, everybody, I need you to go absolutely crazy over the next 60 seconds for our friend Jay, who wants to be in a movie with us. And then, you know, the crowd just went nuts and did it. I think some of the Jay signs might be comped in, maybe. But
No, for
very
sure.
exciting.
I mean, they might have had a couple of planted actors in there. I don't know. They never had more than 8 people at a time working on it. Here's another one. When Matt legitimately parachutes onto a streetcar and is jumping around on stuff.
That poor bastard.
Here's another fun story. That was filmed in November of 2024. They filmed that the day that the city of Toronto, Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, was playing in Toronto that night. So it was already an incredibly chaotic night in Toronto. So Matt Johnson, the crew, they basically just said, there was already so much chaos going on that nobody was going to notice what we were doing.
So they just did it?
Decreased police presence,
I need to understand that I do not think they had a single permit for this movie. They did not have filming permits.
It gives me that vibe.
Okay, there were some cops involved. So there's a deleted scene that they were filming. I don't think it's anywhere near this current movie. It might end up in season 3 where they're putting all the road trip stuff. There was a scene where Jay was inside a bathroom dressed as a Blue Jay, like in a Blue Jay mascot costume, and everyone else got arrested. Besides Jay in the bathroom in the Blue Jay costume. Then, you know the scene with the fire at the end where the bus is like, you know, done the Back to the Future thing?
Yeah, and they clearly somehow put fire on the road because people are reacting to it.
Yes. It's actually a bunch of shots comped together of, like, I guess smaller fires or something, but they did have to block the roads. And it was such a pain in the ass to block traffic because it was just, like, enough of it, like a populated area, that a guy tried to fight the cops to get through the Nirvana the band to show the movie blockade. A dude started trying to throw hands with police.
All right, so I guess that was one of the few instances they used filming permits. But, like, from what I understand, that scene where, like, they go up to the CN Tower the second time and a cop walks up to Jay like, hey, man, what's going on? I believe that's a real cop, right?
It's just genuine.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It blends, like, genuine reactions and, like, clever filmmaking. I need to watch this again now. You guys are telling me how much, like, crazy shit they had to do and how much, like, effects. I did not think there'd be as many effects in this.
You know what I really want to know? That Brazilian girl at the CN Tower sequence, is that an actor or not?
That's the one special effect I couldn't piece together how they got her twice. They talk about it on the commentary, but I couldn't make heads or tails.
Like, the only way it makes sense is that it could have been one of two things. One, they did it for real on one of them, and then on the second one asked her to act, basically, and she just happened to do a good job. That's the simplest way to do it. This is an idea that just popped into my head that would be insane, and I think it would have been visible if this was the case. I guess they could have made it so one of them, it's actually Matt walking up to her, and in another one, it's a different person entirely, and then they put Matt in after the fact. But I feel like that'd be more visible, so I doubt that's the case.
I feel like your first idea made more sense because the second take felt way more like an because I feel like they did the second take first where he's like, we've already met, you haven't met me, like that one. I feel like that was the first take they did, and then they may have explained it and then did the first take. That feels like more authentic there because the first take felt more friendly.
That might be how they did it, is that because that's how you would do it, right? You do the, we've already met before, you don't remember that thing?
Yeah, and that, because she was genuinely confused. Like, it was
that's the funnier thing to get, like, as a confused reaction, and then just be like, all right, yada, 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 this is what's going on. Remind me, were the cop that stopped Jay, did they sign a filming release? I can't remember. I felt like there was one character in this movie that had lines whose face was blurred.
I don't know. And
maybe I'm misremembering.
Why were all of Jay's F-bombs in the past bleeped out? That's what I want to know, Matt Johnson. Why? Because
the movie's rated R, right? So I don't get that.
Very silly. So there, you know.
Maybe that's just what the show's like. Actually, maybe they've always bleeped their F-bombs. I don't know.
They're just doing it for kicks. I'm sure there's some funny internal logic there. You know the scene at the end where Matt Johnson jumps off the CN Tower and reveals he's got a parachute?
Yeah.
So his digi-double to scale, in order to make that shot readable, was between 40 and 100 feet tall. That's how tall they had to make his digi-double to scale, otherwise you wouldn't be able to see it. And I just thought that was kind of funny, the 100-foot Matt jumping from the CN tower. Get out of here.
That sounds like a 50s B movie horror right there.
The 100-foot
Attack
Matt
of the
Johnson.
100-foot Canadian.
I'm literally Googling Nirvana the band, the show, the movie, how they made.
There was one
To
that,
try and find out more shit.
there was one that came in my head, but I fucking forgot it. Loved it. You could see on the making of footage, you could see all the green screen comps that they had to do for overlaying Famous Jay. That's always fun to see Jay McCarroll just, acting like he's getting Will Smith slapped. That's always good.
That was a good.
I did like, I'm trying to remember. Nope, I had it and I lost it.
Oh, I have a funny bit, and weirdly enough, this is, it is a use of CG, but they were trying to go practical and it just went wrong. So the scene where Jay just fucking executes that guy like Optimus Prime at the end of the third Transformers movie. Basically, they had a blood cannon behind this guy, and it shot off, but there was a flyer behind him as set dressing, and half the blood, like beneath the flyer, worked fine. The other half went right under the flyer, so it looked like there was like a blood splat that you copped in, but half of it was masked out in the real footage. So they had to extend the blood with CG because like half the blood got hidden. And I don't think they shot it again because I think the actor in real life got bumped really hard with the lead kind of pipe that the blood shot out of. So they blessed it's a $2 million trailer. But I thought that was kind of funny going for it practically and it ending up looking like CG because of some freak accident.
Yeah, that does happen sometimes. Weird.
Fortunate.
I think...
The apartment. Remind me to talk about the 2008 apartment. What were you going to say?
Well, they rebuilt it, right? The production designers had the web series footage and they had to build it in a soundstage, right?
Because they went to the lady who lives in the apartment they lived at back in 2009, and they were like, hey, we'll give you money, can we please just have your apartment and film here, right? And she kept asking for more and more money, and when they hit a certain number, Matt was like, it's cheaper to rebuild it at this point. She asked for so much money that rebuilding the apartment was the cheaper answer.
You think that lady's you think that lady's kicking herself, or did she just want them to leave her alone?
Probably. I mean, imagine someone coming to your apartment and being like, listen, I lived here in high school, okay? I lived here in 2009 or whatever. I need you to move? Well, we're making a movie in here? Like, I don't know about you, but I might be like, turning around just like, $1 million. Like, come on, they're making you leave.
I'd go, that like Price is Right minigame where they're hiking up the mountain, but if you go too far, you fall off. I'd see how far it can hike up. Like, let's see how much we can go for.
This is famous director of Project Avalanche, Matt Johnson. I mean, he just made Blackberry. Could you imagine? That's the kind of thing that makes people ask you for more money. You just made
That is true.
Yeah, the Blackberry movie.
So...
Do you guys remember the three musicians outside of the Rivoli who are just going to play the show? Those are the
weren't those
engineers
just musicians that were actually about to play a show there? No, I remember. No, I know where you're going with this. Those three musicians are the three people that are Matt Johnston's friends in the alternate timeline, right?
I don't know.
God,
I was going to say they were the engineers in Blackberry, but you also might be right. They were
No, I'm pretty sure that's the case. It's the same people.
Got it. Yeah. Double whammy. Good shit.
In an alternate universe, instead of Matt dragging Jay down, Matt drags these three people down.
Chinese. Ethnically Chinese. Both my parents are Chinese.
That was so funny. Okay, so during the marketing of this movie, they released a poster of them riding an Orbitz bottle, right? Mm-hmm. Here's the interesting thing about that movie. That poster. It was nearly identical to a Marty Supreme poster that was released that same day.
How'd they get it?
Within 3 hours, they had an incredibly well-done parody poster. I know what you're thinking. How the hell did they get a poster done that fast? They didn't. This is a true story. During the making of Marty Supreme and Nirvana the Band, the show, the movie, somehow the Nirvana the Band, the show, the movie crew, the production team, was CC'd on a marketing email, like an internal marketing email for Marty Supreme with that poster in it. including when they were going to release that poster. Somehow the Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie production team got CC'd on that email. So they made a parody poster, and it was supposed to come out at the exact same time, but they fucked up because of time zones.
Oh my god. What a bit. What a glorious bit.
I know that's not in the movie, and that's a marketing thing, but, like...
That's still, like... What the fuck?
I know.
Yeah, what is it? Tristan was talking about, they wanted to do the rope with, like, a simulation based on the actual, like, weight and wind dynamics of the rope between the CN tower and kind of, like, street level, and they quickly found out, like, the moment they started to do sims, that it wouldn't physically work ever because the rope would be too heavy. It would just immediately just not work like that at all. So they had to make magic rope sims for this. The rope does not behave like normal rope. But that's just funny, the idea of, like, hitting play in, like, Houdini or something and just watching the rope just basically fall down the CN tower and make a flat kind of line along the street, which wouldn't look nearly as cool. You wouldn't be able to do the card with it. Yeah, that's maybe special effects. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just this movie's a fucking miracle, man. It's so funny and it exists.
That's the most fascinating thing. These are the, because, you know, it's so easy to, like, get lost in production where this is just all, like, you know, movies are churned out, slop or whatever. But then there's movies like this where it's just like, movies are a fascinating art form. How does any movie get made?
They used the Wii Shop theme over a song. How'd they fair use that?
That's a reference to the web series.
Wait, did they actually? I missed that. That was in the movie?
It's when they go back to 2008. If you listen to them, it's the Wii Shop thing. They have a bit in the original Nirvana
I know
band show.
that bit. That's like one of the few bits I do know.
They play it just for like a couple seconds, and then they cut to the present, or not the present, but like later on in the night.
I think they were able to clear the Back to the Future clips they show on TV because they basically replicate those plot beats verbatim later. Like, that was part of... I think, I heard Matt talk about the fair use a little. You can use stuff from movies you don't own without having to contact the copyright holder if it's, like, integral to the plot of your movie, that movie exists and the movie has bearing on the plot, something like that. So, like, the exact clips they showed from Back to the Future are only allowed because they do those exact same bits later in the movie. Like
it's not just a thing where, like, your characters talk about a movie and that it's very specific from what I understand.
Crazy.
I still can't believe they got away with that, though. I did not know that through line existed. It makes perfect sense. But yeah. What a movie.
What a picture.
What a picture.
Feature.
They shot this. Is this like? So this movie cost $2 million and it was shot over 200 days. Is this the cheapest money per day?
It's
of a movie ass movie? You know what I mean?
It's the opposite
Maybe.
of the Terminator ride that used to exist at Universal Studios. It's the least penny spent per second.
Oh yeah, didn't that ride cost like $20 million to film in like 1990 something money?
Yeah, it was the record holder for a while. Like, you know, oh, this movie costs like, you know, $20,000 per second to make, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh. They originally had this plan that every time a newspaper went to Matt, because there are points where he gets hit with the newspaper a couple times in the film to get data, and they wanted it to hit him in the face. You know, like anyone would, you know, make it a comedy would be like, have it hit him in the face and then read it. And they found out filming this that it's extremely hard to get a newspaper to fly into frame and hit someone in the face. Apparently they did 100 takes worth of trying different things and still couldn't do it in the end. So Matt Johnson formally issued a challenge. If people can get a newspaper like filmmakers to hit your character in the face, they will give you 1 bottle of Orbits. Or maybe $5. But yeah, go try it.
They still have the Orbits box.
Is the challenge on? Hold on.
That's one of those things I never thought of, because I feel like I've seen that in a movie. I've at least seen it in cartoons. But apparently it's impossible to do. You would never think.
Another thing I want to mention, some of the drone shots during the CN Tower sequence. Technically, I think they broke the law filming those.
Probably.
Commercial drones are only allowed to fly so high in the greater Toronto area. And because of these laws, drones sold in Toronto, they have to connect to the internet, will only fly so high. You can't even break the law on accident. So the drone operator reprogrammed the drone to recognize the top of a very tall building as ground level, so he could film even higher to get those shots.
What the fuck?
There's two directors' commentaries for this. There's Matt Johnson in the production crew, and there's Matt Johnson's in the post crew. And when they get to the CN Tower scene in the first commentary, Jay keeps trying to say something, and they keep like bleeping it out with music, like long stretches of music, like the South Park 200 episode thing. And I was so curious what the fuck he was saying. And at the end of it, Matt's like, yeah, we could get in legal trouble. And I was like, what are they talking about? And that sounds like Tanner's kind of on the trail of it.
Yeah, that might be part of why. But I thought you said on the second commentary track they were allowed to say some of it? Or maybe...
So, my impression was that they were doing it to fuck with the listeners who bought the Blu-ray, because they knew people would buy this to find out more about how they did the CN Tower stunt. But on the post-production one, they basically spill all the CG that went into that sequence for the most part. But I didn't know about the drone thing. I didn't think, watching the sequence, there would be footage they would acquire illegally. And now it makes a lot more sense why they would bleep out Jay. It's because he wasn't talking about the special effects. He was probably talking about, like, you know, acquiring footage in ways that, you know, we're not supposed to talk about. That makes more sense.
Yeah, this is from a interview they did in March 10th, 2016. Which maybe they did this interview and then someone at Neon went, you can't fucking admit to doing that. But they had already recorded the commentary track maybe or something like that.
Matt Johnson, you did not violate commercial airspace. Say it with me now, on the record.
You did not violate, but I did. No. Yeah, I hope that I haven't bought the Blu-ray to this movie yet, because I am suspecting that Neon is going to release like a collector set of everything related to the show, including a season 3 that I think, because I'm pretty sure. So here's the thing. They shot episodes for season 3. I think they almost had season 3 done before Viceland discontinued. And on top of that, I think they want to try and repurpose all the stuff they shot for the road trip version of this movie into more of the show. So I suspect that there's going to be a big collector's edition that has everything Nirvana the band, the show in it, and that's when I'll buy it. Except I'm going to keep telling myself it's coming any day now, and then it won't.
Nah, it'll happen. Just wait.
It's coming down the pipe. They've already designed the cover.
Have they actually?
It's available for pre-order on Amazon.
Stop it. You're fucking with me.
Yeah, that'll be cool when it happmes. Same with the 3-part Dune home IMAX release box set that we're definitely going to get.
Any day now. One more thing I want to bring up, by the way. Have any of us seen the post-credit scene? Because I haven't.
Post-credit scene?
They added one for the home release, from what I understand. That or the Blu-ray.
I'm trying to remember what it is, because I probably did see it.
I checked for that and couldn't find anything.
Okay, well, the Neon's website. I'm looking at Neon's website right now. One of the bonus features it says for the Blu-ray is post-credit scene.
Fuck me.
And if you look at the Reddit Q&A they did a few months ago, they said that they filmed it that day for VOD/Blu-ray. So I'm assuming.
Oh my god. So I went checking for it, and Sid put his hand on my hand and said, "Don't you remember? This doesn't have a post-credit scene. This is on me. You're right. You're probably right."
I have the movie playing right here. I'm gonna
fast
forward to the end of the credits.
Save our souls.
No, I'm trying to remember. No, because I watched this. I don't know if you guys heard of. My mom has this weird fucking service called Plex. I've never heard of it until she showed me it.
It's not.
It's weird.
So Plex, yes, has its own thing, but the real purpose of Plex is that people use it to make their home media servers.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
You're mom.
All I knew is that when I went onto it, it had fucking everything, and I'm like, even movies that weren't on digital. I'm like, oh, that's fucking weird.
Not to implicate your mother, but a lot of people use Plex for their home media service full of pirated content.
Awesome.
Not to implicate your mother in anything, but...
Oh, she...
Wait.
They're gonna get us.
Doesn't your mom work at the Legal Feature Film Archive, where she just, like, gets a bunch of MKVs of legal feature films?
For free!
Now that you mentioned it, she does. And that's how I watched Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie.
Alright, I'm at the end of the credits and there's still a minute left. Okay, this was in the theater. This is the fucking, like, 8-bit, 32-bit, whatever, Earth. Allow me to... That's more in the way. So that thing... That... What the fuck?
Oh, no.
Hold on.
I genuinely don't remember this. I might have stopped watching. I might have
There's
stopped.
definitely a scene that wasn't in the theater. Hold on.
Is that the
Are we about to get a
Master
live
Sword?
reaction?
No,
This is
no.
live reaction.
No, chair.
To this movie that my mother, who
Oh,
works
no,
with
not the
legal
chair.
movies, outsourced.
Tanner.
Tanner, the chair!
Tanner, the
Tanner!
Department.
The chair!
Oh!
He's
Wait.
erasing...
Awesome, this is copyright protection. We're fine.
God damn it. I wanted to see it. It looks...
Oh, it's just the part where he erases the don't and
What?
don't play the Rivoli.
But that's in the movie.
It's just a different angle. Wait.
You're gonna get a live Tanner reaction. We're not gonna see it.
God damn it. Oh, that was fun. That was really fucking fun. Wish I
It
could've
might
seen
be.
it. God
I'm
damn
sure
it.
that's very riveting for the people listening.
It could have been.
We didn't. Not that we saw it.
It's the scene where Jay goes back in time to erase the don't, so it says play the Rivoli, and then he walks out, and then the closet door opens, and a suspenseful song plays, and then you see past Matt Johnston staring at the camera and do, and it is clearly past Matt Johnston because he looks young. He doesn't have the bags under his eyes.
What the fuck?
They're demons. They're demons from hell. How'd they do that?
That's so
They planned
so
everything.
good.
Don't you just film stuff and be like, I'm gonna use this in 20 years. Wait.
There's a part of me that really loves the simplicity of the film's ending, where the whole mess can be resolved by Jay just erasing the word "don't" from a whiteboard, like turning the message into just play the Rivoli. It feels like one of those things like people like Matt Johnson and Curry Barker have said a million times, like, just don't be afraid, go out there and do stuff. But it also, like, evokes that charming shit from, like, Inception, where, like, a little top inside a safe has this colossal impact on a person's life. There's this bossa nova song that plays over the ending. It's called the Waters of March. It was originally this Brazilian song from, like, 72, but it's a very specific cover of the Waters of March by this lady, Susanna McCorkle. Her name sounds like it was remixed in a YouTube poop. But using that specific cover over the credits is actually a deep cut from a movie. That same cover was over the credits of the 2002 film Comedian, the Instacam documentary about Jerry Seinfeld. Apparently, the Seinfeld Handycam documentary really inspired Nirvana, the band, the show. That or Matt Johnson saw the worst person in the world and remembered that the Waters of March existed. It was like, holy fuck, I gotta use this. But yeah, that cover's a deep cut.
I was about to bring something up. I was about to say something. Brain, work with me. The bit where Matt is in the alternate timeline where Jay is famous, and a guy walks up to him and goes, "Yeah, Jay, he's Hollywood."
God.
The only way that makes any sense is if they walked up to a random person on the street and said, "Hey, you see that guy with the stupid hat? Can you say this to him?"
I remember reading
Because
something.
all those billboards are comped, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading some trivia fact where one of the people talking about Famous Jay, one of the person on the street ones, was really painful to extract. Like, Matt had to stand there for like 30 minutes just trying to say shit to make this guy say the line. I don't know if that's the line, but that's just funny. Someone trying to lead you to say such an obscure thing, and you have no idea what they're doing. And they probably were all just like, yes! You know, when they finally said it, and the guy just had no idea what happened. That shit probably ruled.
That's funny to imagine. But yeah, there's just so much about the making of this movie that I still don't know. Like,
I only allocated, like, I don't know, like, a few hours for research for this, and then, like, I realized while I was going through the Blu-ray that I should have spent, like, Lord of the Rings time on this, just because of the complexity of the object. Like, I wish I could have, I don't know, studied it a little bit more, because it's just packed to the gills with crazy shit.
not to circle back to the CN Tower sequence, but I
it's
love
a really
the parts.
good sequence, though.
It's a really good sequence. And another thing I love about it is that one of the cam ops in that scene is an unwitting tour guide.
Yep. Yes, they are.
They somehow manipulated him into looking into certain places to match the sequence and beats they wanted in the movie.
Anyone who goes and does the skywalk, you actually get that GoPro footage of the guide with everybody in the shot, and they have rehearsed ways that they look around, and they studied the rehearsed kind of movements that these people made to get the shots that they comped in of like them cutting the wires and stuff. But like that seems like the most like you would have to involve the Sky Tower when you see that GoPro footage, but it's actually just a thing you get for going up there. And so it was one of the things they knew they were going to have from the start. The
only thing about that maybe slightly trips me up is I would have just assumed that footage you get like that from a tourist experience is not supposed to be used in a commercial setting.
That's a good point.
But I guess either A, they did it and nobody cared, or B, Canada works differently, or C, they paid whoever owns CN Tower, which is Rogers, I guess, right? Does Rogers own the CN Tower? Rogers owns fucking everything in Toronto.
That's a good point. Okay, I'd like to do a My Dinner with Andre remake where you just do it over several skywalks, and just as the guy's like looking around, you've got your two actors on the side doing the My Dinner with Andre script.
That is genuinely a good idea that now I kind of want to make.
Oh, one of the
Road trip.
The guy right in front of Matt Johnson is the VFX supervisor. If you ever want to rewatch this and see what the VFX guy looked like, he went up there with them to see if anything happened that would fuck with the VFX people. He's in the shot.
I wanna like watch the raw footage of making this movie because I'm still reading up. Apparently, they wanted a sequence in which the RV would get towed, and they would have to deal with that. So they legitimately parked it on a busy road during rush hour, and the only reason it didn't work and it didn't get towed is because Toronto authorities didn't have a tow truck big enough to tow the RV.
Oh my god.
Even when they want to get in trouble, they get into different trouble.
It's so good. It's like the real life version of Matt's dumb plans not working out.
There needs to be a feature-length like making of this movie as well to complement it. There's too much dumb shit going down.
We need the Lord of the Rings 8-hour VFX.
They were constantly cutting this movie. Like there was a world premiere, which was different from TIFF, my mistake. And the version that screened at the world premiere was different from the version that screened at the Toronto International Film Festival, which is different from the version that I watched in theaters earlier this year, which is technically slightly different than the one I'm watching on digital right now, because this one has a post-credit scene.
Every copy is personalized now.
Stop that.
I think they did.
Never.
When it was in theaters, because I saw this opening day, I think they pulled a Cats where they eventually swapped out what file was on the DCP. Like, if you saw it earlier on in its exhibition, you saw a different version than the one that was like a week later. Because I remember reading about it on Reddit. People were like, "Hey, what happened to that one 9/11 joke?" And everybody was just like, "Ooh, didn't expect them to do that."
The 9/11 joke is in the digital version, at least.
It is. I can confirm
Which
that.
good. I forgot that's also one of the funniest jokes in the movie.
It's a quick joke too. It's not like
It's a joke
like,
I would make. That's what I would do.
we can go back to any time.
You're gonna be laughing in a second.
9/11. I love that. You're going to be laughing in a second. I want to imagine that in Matt's head, he was like, we're about to see those fuckers crash into the towers. Not knowing he lives in Toronto.
Wait! I didn't even factor that in. No, could you imagine the scene actually play out? They make it to 2001, and Matt's like running out, and then it just hits him that he's in Canada.
Like,
And
Toronto is an 8-hour drive away from New York City. Like,
He just starts talking to random people about 9/11 and no one knows what he's
hey,
talking about.
the planes, have they crashed into the tower yet? They think it's a terrorist attack on CN Tower.
No! They hit the CN Tower!
Dude, check the news. It doesn't matter what channel. They hit the Pentagon! They hit the fucking Pentagon!
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is a perfect movie, actually. This might be the greatest movie ever made, and the second greatest movie of 2026. That's the official Tanner Richard Kraft review. Greatest movie ever made, and also not the best movie of the year. You know it's true.
Classic Tanner logic. It's so good.
Every movie is the greatest movie ever made when you're watching it.
When you have a pure soul like Tanner, who enjoys everything.
It's not true. I did
Name
not
one thing
like
you hate right now. Go.
Michael Jackson biopic.
That's a shame.
I'm
made
really
$1
afraid you
billion.
were just gonna say Michael Jackson and not say
Well,
biopic.
also, Michael Jackson. The person. Listen, Thriller's a great album.
And with that,
Bad is even better. You know how ballsy you have to be to release an album called Bad?
and it's like the best album ever made. Yeah.
Like, what if
really-
it sucked? The headlines write themselves. Bad is bad.
I like the idea of a Pitchfork article where they don't actually have a snappy headline. It just says "bad" on your album called "Bad." He really was like teeing it up.
It's fucking like what's the bit in Spinal Tap where like the headline just says "shit sandwich" or whatever.
It's just a 2-word review. Shit sandwich.
It's like that. Yeah, Nirvana the band, the show.
The movie.
Oh, this actually, of course, this won. You guys want to know what this won in at the Canadian Screen Awards?
Everything
What?
again.
It lost 2 categories.
Okay.
It lost cinematography and it lost production design. I'm gonna look up what won those categories, and if it's something I've heard of. 40 Acres won production design. I've heard of the movie 40 Acres.
Them be acres.
That measurement sounds different to Americans.
It's a post-apocalypse movie. And then cinematography was won by 40 Acres.
Shit.
That's on me. That's on me. I should have known better. It won Best Motion Picture, obviously, Best Visual Effects, Best Sound Mixing, Best Original Song. I know what you're thinking. What original song? Because the Jay McCarroll song in this movie is from real life, from 10 years ago. There's something called the Alphabet Song in here. I don't remember where that is.
Oh, it's like
Is
it's
when-
like in the it's like when they go back and they're like redoing the it's like in the middle of the movie. I remember.
Is it when Matt is like pretending to be a cheesy 80s rapper and he's like, hey,
Yeah.
C.
It's that scene.
There's no fucking way. There's got to be like an instrumental song named the Alphabet Song. That blows my mind.
No.
I'm pretty sure that's the one.
Kill
Pete.
me, bro.
Because
Pete.
Best Original Song has like lyrics and shit.
Holy shit.
And then it also won Best Performance in a Supporting Role Comedy. Matt Johnson won for that. And then I've been saying Johnston this whole time. Matt Johnson. And then it won Best Performance in a Leading Role Comedy for Jay McCarroll. That's interesting. I feel like that's right, though. Him being the lead and Matt being supporting.
I
Though,
guess.
they're co-leads, honestly.
Yeah,
but
I feel like it's interchangeable.
Yeah, they share the screen. They're in
Yeah.
equal amounts.
You just got to imagine how mad are you as a Canadian filmmaker when you release a movie the same year Matt Johnson does?
Yeah, Yeah, I think if you watch the 2024 Canadian Screen Awards when Blackberry just swept all but 2 categories.
Yeah, Blackberry won even more than Nirvana the Band, the show, the movie did, for the record. Blackberry won more.
People started referencing it in their speeches, basically, that Matt was winning every award that night.
I'm going to read off... Okay, here are the awards that Blackberry lost. Best Supporting Performance in a Comedy Film, Matt Johnson lost for that. I'm just gonna get this out of the way. Matt Johnson lost to Glenn Powell from the same movie.
Oh, hey.
It lost Best Visual Effects and it lost Best Makeup. Here's what it won. Best Casting, Best Hair, Best Original Score, Best Sound Mixing, Best Sound Editing, Best Costume Design, Best Cinematography, Best Production Design, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Lead Performance in a Comedy Film, Best Director, and Best Picture.
Yeah, they swept.
Yeah, I might have to watch Blackberry.
Blackberry won, so many awards. Blackberry is also a great fucking movie. I watched that and thought it was great before I had any real idea of who, Matt Johnson is.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was his big commercial movie. It was his Carrie. It was his Star Wars.
And Tony, I feel like, is going to be a big deal.
We'll see. We'll see.
When does that come out?
Right now.
Shit, all right, go! And welcome to the world premiere, Matt Johnson's.
It's premiering on Discord.
Yep, he just joins the call. Here he is.
Hey guys, thanks for liking my movie.
All right, can
I
you
don't know
share
why
your
I'm
screen?
giving him a Bam Margera voice. I don't know what I'm doing that for.
A Bam Margera voice. What are you doing?
What if Nirvana the Band, the show, the movie, but instead of Matt Johnson, it's Bam Margera?
Oh.
I just like to think about him stumbling down the CN Tower drunk. Just hitting the ground like
He
a sack
falls
of potatoes.
off. He falls off.
No, you'll be fine.
Bam's clean. I'm sorry, Bam, if you're watching this. Why?
Bam, if you're watching this, big fan, how are you an hour and 16 minutes into this episode?
Why aren't you tuning out? We're losers. We suck. We're talking about Jackass next week. That should be fun.
Oh, no, wait, no, Bam, don't leave, no! He's
Bam,
gone now.
no.
He's not coming back now. He left a dislike on this
I
video.
meant we're talking about Tony Hawk's Underground 2. Yay!
He's back! We're in!
He exited the tab, but he could still hear us through the force.
Minimize.
Bam Margera is a Jedi, after all.
I believe that.
This is why I'm so happy Matinee exists over movie night, because after a while you just start saying some random bullshit.
And that's the fun thing with matinees. If you stick around long enough, you get the real gold. And when we run out of things to say,
we start going insane. We're clearly running out of things to say.
It's really hot in here.
I'm dying. Oh yeah, you turn your AC off for this, don't you?
I tear my AC off because otherwise you would hear the fan. So it's like 90 in here, and it sucks.
He has an AC unit from like the fucking 70s in his.
Oh yeah, it
apartment.
doesn't.
It's crazy.
Even if I turn that shit on, I wouldn't reach here. So it doesn't matter. I just die.
That's the thing. It's a window unit in the living room. Is your bedroom okay?
No. I just fucking die, dude.
You start crying.
Yep.
You go, Bam, Bam, save me, Bam.
That's my nightly ritual. Save me, Bam Margera.
I pray.
No, you know that fucking video where it's like, save me, Donald Trump? It's just me going, save me, Bam Margera. Save me, Bam Margera. Save me, Bam Margera.
Phil, Bam, Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Austin, what are your final thoughts on Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie?
Cream corn, you son of a bitch! That's actually a tell the footage is from 2009, because that's a Black Dynamite reference. Dig it. So the internet definitely changed what we all think is funny. Some people were eventually crushed by this. R.I.P. Judd Apatow, R.I.P. the Farrelly brothers. But then, out of the wave came new voices. Tim Robinson, Eric Andre, everybody who worked on hundreds of beavers. But Matt and Jay have been there from the beginning of YouTube, reinventing the show multiple times and getting better each go. And this movie is the greatest iteration to date. This might be the funniest one for me, one for you project in the history of that trope. This truly is one of those lovely, deceptive pieces of media that hides how much work work went into it and proceeds to pleasantly surprise the shit out of you over and over again. One of the best movies of the year. Go seek it out, regardless of whether you're already familiar with the show. And check out Matt Johnson's other movies while you're at it. This guy has been absolutely crushing it for 13 years now. Operation Avalanche, go watch it. Yeah, those are my final thoughts.
Cody, final thoughts on Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. I have been saying it right this whole time until this recording.
No, it's awesome. My final thoughts are, life lesson is you should chase near impossible dreams for 20 years because you might have enough footage for a banger movie. This is really good. It's really good, and that's really all I could say about it. It encapsulates... The thing I love about the movie that I didn't mention, it encapsulates that 2000s era like online content creation as well. That just rough, bullshit, do it kind of thing where it's just like the personality matters more than the content itself. That's what made them successful, and that's what makes this movie successful. Great movie. Will watch again.
Yeah. Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie is an amazing movie. It's a miracle of independent filmmaking. It's so good. I just want to say one last thing about the movie, which is that the guy that said I'm a libertarian at the Canadian Tire store, I just found out, was invited to and attended the Toronto International Film Festival premiere of this movie.
Awesome. You deserved it.
He has arguably the funniest line of the movie, other than the funnier lines. But you know who else has arguably the funniest line of the movie, other than the funnier lines? You, the person watching / listening to this episode of Bomb Squad Matinee. If you are listening, you fucker.
Holy! If you're listening, you are dead now. Tanner has killed you.
I think I got him.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much for listening. How about you mosey on down below and leave us a review? It helps boost us in the algorithm or something. I don't know. I just work here. If you are listening, how about you mosey on down over to the Patreon, where the $5 tier gets you access to the occasional commentary track, and the $10 tier gets you an access to shout-outs at the end of episodes. And my mom, Tanya Kraft. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And if you're not done giving us money, how about you mosey on down over to our merch store? That's right, they got merch now. BombSquadProductions.shop. We got shirts. Cody's wearing one. We got hoodies. We got posters, magnets, stickers. We got all kinds of goodies. We got hats. Get there, order some merch, help support us. We really appreciate that too. And if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you oh so very much for watching. We really appreciate it. How about you mosey on down over to the comment section below and let me know what do you think of Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Have you seen Nirvana, the band, the show, either the web series or the Viceland show? What's your favorite joke in the movie? You've seen it. What's your favorite Matt Johnson movie? What award did you lose to Matt Johnson at the Canadian Screen Awards too?
All of them.
And all of them. That's right. And finally, if you had a time machine, would you go back to 9/11 in Toronto? Comment below and let me know. And while you're down there, hit the like button so you know how much you like us. Hit the subscribe button so you know how much you love us. Hit the bell icon to know exactly when we upload new videos. Thanks so much for watching. Tune in next week where we talk about Cody's favorite film of the year. That's right, Jackass Best and Last. It is not his favorite movie of the year. He thinks it's just okay, I think.
Oh, we're talking about Backrooms. Oh, man.
We're talking about, yeah, next time, baby. I'll check out your back rooms. We're talking about Jackass Best and Last. That should be a lot of fun. We'll see you then. Bye.
Slid my ticket across the table and I said, "Sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl."